Hello, it's Paul McFadden here, and I'm joined today with both Marc and Emma Lorente, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation because my goal with this podcast is to learn more about people and their journey and prior to getting started in property. And these two here are an absolute power couple and what they've been able to achieve. And we just spoke about it right before we started here. In the last couple of years is just astounding. It really is. And it'd be good to get into some of the things that you've just been working on literally this week that you've sorted as well in terms of the bigger picture and the vision for where you're taking your business as well. But and I know you guys are going to be inspired. I know that for sure when you start to hear about this story. And one of the things that I love about you guys is that you are so selfless in the sense that you want to support and help other people. You open up your doors as such to let people come into your projects and see what you're up to and what you're doing. You put yourselves out there on social media. You're interactive and engaging within the Protege community. And it's just this whole attitude and ethos of helping others. Now, before we get to all of that, because this is what's been happening as of late in the last couple of years, take us back to you guys getting involved in property. It'd be good to hear a bit more about your own personal stories.
You go first.
Well, we were both employed in the police for a number of years. So you longer than me. You had a
26 years. Joined
career.
when I was 10. 26 years I've done actually.
And I was there for 14 years. So that's where we met. That's what we did before we got involved in property. Prior to that, it was all sorts of different jobs for me.
Yeah, I was an electrician at trade. See, I never enjoyed school. Left school at 15 and a half. And the only reason I got to leave early at Christmas was to go to college full time. So I done electronics just to get out of school. It just wasn't for me, just the whole structure. And I just wanted to do something else. So electrician till I was 23. Joined the police. Went up to detective inspector rank. Dealing with serious crime. Managing forensic work and murder scenes and stuff like that. And just a lot of sensitive inquiries. So it's funny because some people say, property could be quite stressful, and compared to
walk in
previous
the park.
life, it's
There's a lot of transferable skills, isn't there? I mean, you maybe don't realise initially, but I think from whatever jobs you've done before, I mean, I was a childminder, I did beauty therapy, lots of different things going on, but especially the police, working with people, dealing with problems, it kind of is all transferable. So I suppose it's helped us on our property journey.
Problem solving effectively, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, this is what I love as well, and a lot of people don't realise is that those transferable skills. Do you know how a lot of people get started in property and they feel like a bit of an imposter at the beginning, like I've got this education and I'm just about to apply things, and everyone around me is like, no, that's not how it works. You need years of doing this, but a lot of people fast track their journey very quickly, obviously with the right education and support, but with that transferable skills that you've taken from what you've built in your life, to then implement that in your property business as well.
We definitely had the imposter syndrome, without a doubt. And it's probably only now, when you take stock and you look back, and even speaking to you or speaking to Richard, and tracing our steps back and seeing where we've come from and that couple of years where it's all gone, that's when you realise, actually those skills have come into play. It's the reflection that helps you realise that, because, we've talked about this before, but the mindset side of it has been really helpful. It's not just a case of we're going to change our careers and we're going to be property people. It's kind of an evolution, isn't it, really?
It's a mindset and also support we've had with yourself and PMW in general. Because as Emma says, you look back, even just the deals we're doing now, it's like money doesn't scare you. Providing the deal works, it doesn't matter if it's like we're doing like a small one-bed flat in Montrose, we're starting doing a GV before it used to be in the tribe. We're doing a 3-bed bungalow. We get the keys tomorrow. We're doing obviously the 7-bed mill that we're converting to 4 and 3, which is over. Hold up.
We need to back up a bit. You guys have got too many deals on the go, and I need to talk about them because some of them are super exciting. But tell us about, so you guys, because you are now full-time in property, and it never happened overnight, but if you think about it, it kind of did in a short period of time. But let's rewind a little bit. So both in the police, and that's where you guys met.
Yeah.
You said a little, because you share it when you come along to our Jumpstart events, and I would like you to maybe share a little bit about that as well, because both of you had some challenges going on personally, didn't you? And then before you know it, you's connected. And so tell us a bit more about that story. That would be great to hear.
For me, I mean, I separated from my first wife with 2 sons. I was mentally and probably financially at that time rock bottom. My decision to be sitting in a flat on my own in Ferry, I rented a flat, and I thought, how's this all happened? You know, and with hindsight, I just threw myself into work doing absolutely crazy hours, salaried, so it's not like you're getting any extra financial gain for it. A few years prior to that, I was Emma's boss for a while. I said tables have turned. Emma went away into a detective role that I'd been in previously, and again, just through fate, if you like, bosses had put me back into a police station where you were based. We started chatting again and thought we're in a similar situation, let's just catch up. Literally, I was catch up for a coffee.
It's literally like that, you know, the universe thing, when things start happening and they move you in a certain direction. Again, on reflection, not at the time, I don't think we realised, did we? But
You call it, some folk would call it universe, some folk would say that Emma was needing some DIY done in the house she bought, and it was almost like the maintenance man that never got to leave. So
You must still have some more work.
There's
Is that
still a
what
lot
it
to
is?
yeah, breaking things all the time.
No, good stuff. So that was the start of both your journey together, and then I love the story you share about coming along to a jump start event. It was in Glasgow, wasn't it?
it was here.
It was.
in
It was
this
here.
place.
Yeah, and it was just one day, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah, I mean, probably just to wind back a bit before that. I say when I was like rock bottom, I started following inspirational people like T. Harv Eker, Tony Robbins, and obviously yourself. We started looking at property, and it was probably turned into a bit of a stalker. I remember you done an online course at that time, the Sunday to Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I says to Emma, this is brilliant. I've always said I wanted to do property when I retired. It would be another 4 years yet. And I says, we need to do this. And you done another one, maybe 6 weeks later, that Emma jumped on, the both of us went on. We thought that was just, we'll go to the jump start for the sake of literally pennies, 60 odd quid or so for a day.
And I think because of our personal situations, because we'd both been through a divorce, both had to move out of our marital homes at the time, start again, bought a house that needed doing up completely, didn't it? Needed everything. So it was kind of like, what next? What do we do now? And we thought, well, if we've done that, you know, if we've literally started again, then we could almost do anything, not in an arrogant way, but just, you know, gave us the drive, I think.
We give anything a shot. Both were got good work ethics. I mean, you could literally be doing beauty therapy with a friend, doing nails, and 2 hours later in the scruffs mixing cement with me laying slabs. We just sort of bounce off each other, I suppose.
Yeah.
Quite lucky.
So how did you get the short stick with laying the slabs?
I've been a good labourer.
I think I get impatient and he faffs about. So I just
It's all coming out now.
We're driving through here for the Jumpstart event, and we says, looked at our finances, says there's no way we're signing up for Prodigy. We had an inclination of how much it would cost, we just didn't have that money. And
our mindset was different.
it was
Totally.
different,
And it does come back to that. We did talk about it, and we thought it's going to be a bit of a, we knew there'd be an upsale, but like we just thought, well, that's not for us. You know, we'll just do today. We'll get what we can from today, and we'll go off and do our own thing. And that was literally, we were adamant. We'd kind of almost shook on it. We were like, that's it.
I remember
2 hours later.
It was 10:30 in the morning. You're still on stage at the same time. Both of us looked at each other when you mentioned dates, and we started swimming down at the same time.
Yeah.
And I thought that we knew that was. I mean, with hindsight, it would have been better and cheaper if I was just doing it myself. It was initial plans, but you jumped on.
I just get the fear of missing out. But no.
No, but do you know what's good about that there, that both of you done it? And this is why I think that it's so important, and I think why we attract a lot of couples, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for having Alexa by my side.
Yeah,
you know, it's
definitely.
like that support, and she's involved in a lot of the business with us, you know, which is great when we're at home together, and you know, there's no friction. We support one another, especially when we have to knuckle down and get things done, and you know, you're doing it for the bigger picture, for the family and everything else. So you know, I love the fact that both of you did do it together.
I think, you know, we worked together in the police. Latterly, sort of once we were together in a relationship, we were travelling to work together. We'd see each other throughout the day. We're kind of used to being in an environment together. So it was almost like a natural progression to be in the property thing together. But I can't imagine one of us doing it without the other one, and the other person trying to understand, taking those risks, you know, making those connections, committing all that time to networking and meeting other people. And
even spending money, you know, at the end of the day, we are willing and have done like personal guarantees for our own house. You know, you're that, say, confident in numbers, but we're at a probably stage in our life, because our kids are a bit older, that you can more comfortable with these risks, I suppose, aren't you? You know, but definitely there's a benefit of two of you doing it. Just as Emma says, even just the support, and there are days that either one or the other just feels, so this isn't working. Or
we've got different strengths.
Yeah, or a plan A for a project never came off or whatever. And it is a roller coaster, but other ones there to pick each other up.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you just said there about the personal guarantee.
Yeah.
Because that's a scary thing for someone if they're having to take out finance, and the prerequisite is you have to sign a PG.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't had your partner could be the most supportive person ever.
Yeah.
But the fact that they don't know what you're doing, you started learning about property, and they're like, I know you've been to a course, and now you want to sign this. There could be especially releasing equity from the home or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's where a lot of friction comes, and it's not that the partner's not wanting to support the other person in their journey. It's just that they're not aware, they don't understand. Yeah. Because as we know, is what we teach, and you know, we'll get into that, and you've got that track record, is that once you know your numbers, you know it's a deal, then you'll support it, you'll sign those because you've made the calculated risk, you've de-risked it, you know you're going to make money. But because both of you were doing that together, you know, you could both see what you were trying to achieve and be comfortable with that.
I think ultimately as well, that's why we brought all the kids on a Jumpstart event.
I was going to get to that. It became a family affair, hasn't it?
And it wasn't to push them into the business or into property, but it was actually just like, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. So it's easy enough for us to sit at the table and say, this is going on, that's going on. But to get them to understand fully how the journey has started and, you know, where it's going, we just thought, right, we'll get them there, we'll get them to feel the energy in the room, because that's what got us. You know, you get all fired up, don't you?
Yeah.
So
and both, like your son Jordan and my older son Aidan, are both obsessed with property as well, and really good and better at computers, better doing the presentation packs. They've totally got the bug. And that's what your son says as well. He sees the difference in us, that our own kids, which you don't see it because you just get carried away with the momentum, but they say we actually see the difference in you as people, what you're doing, the buzz you get out of it, you know. So it's that knock-on effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you came along to Jumpstart. You were not going to sign up, but you did.
Last week in August, 2 years ago.
Now you can't get rid of us.
But I think if you look back in hindsight, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the best decisions you ever made.
Absolutely.
Life-changing,
Yeah. So you came along to attend Protégé. First, tell me what your experience was of Protégé before we get into after Protégé and the stuff you've been working on.
I tell you, I was feeling in the car coming here thinking, what are we doing? Like absolute imposter syndrome, massively. Probably more me than you, because I've always
enjoyed property. I was an electrician at trade, so I'd done a bit of DIY, but not the level that.
Yeah, but personally, you know, he's managed teams and he's addressed audiences and he's done presentations, and all that side of it is. I hated all that, hated it. And that side of it really, really made me feel nervous. So coming here, I was like, what are we doing? You know?
Richard was going around with a microphone the first day, just dipping into folks' introductions. Mind you, whispering, you better not come to me with that microphone.
I think I might have sworn, actually.
But no, just, I mean, you speak about that as well, just like the personal growth as well. Even for like myself, there'd be the people you meet, the people and the things and the projects you're exposed to now. And likewise, even you stand up quite comfortably in front of a large audience. And
that's what I was going to say about the doing the course. Like, it's hard not to become enthusiastic and get involved. It's hard not to develop as a person. It's hard not to just enjoy it for what it is, really. Whilst you're here, you literally go away buzzing, don't you?
Yeah, it's keeping grounded, isn't it? Because if you get one or two projects, no matter what the size, folk could get carried away, and that's again the benefit of being a couple. We do keep each other grounded. You're always grateful every day what you've got, even just getting up in the morning. That's I've always been an early riser. You know, it's just getting.
I'm not that grateful when he gets up at 5 o'clock. But
no, it's great fun.
No, I love that, because I think that's the unseen part of Protégé, because people know they're coming for an education to learn about property, to learn about new strategies, how to do due diligence, how to find the deals, how to structure them, how to raise the finance, like, you know. So that's a given. They're going to get all the proper education, of course, the support network and the tribe and everything else wrapped around it. But the unforeseen stuff is the business principles to start and build a business and to be able to scale and grow that. But more importantly, the personal development, the mindset, you know. And this is the one thing I love the most. So when I have conversations like this, because I get to see your journey, you know, I get to see people's journey, and I love it. It gives me the greatest fulfillment ever when I see someone who takes the information, applies it in a few short years where they're at. And imagine when it's going to be in 5 years and 10 years. For me, it's like, oh my God, we were the catalyst to kickstart that, because it was always within you, but it just kickstarted. You did the work, you put the effort in, you got the results, you know, so I'm not taking anything. Like, you own that. But for me, it's the transformation in the person.
Yeah.
Money, properties is great,
Yeah.
but seeing the person transform in 6 months, 12 months, and you guys, you just mentioned there you didn't want the mic put in your face, but now you come
get
along
off
to exactly. Look,
fighting for it most of the time.
For us, I would say it's the ripple effect, I would call it, through the family. You know, both families were never sort of particularly wealthy anyway, particularly both mums, both very similar backgrounds. Obviously, your mum's Liverpudlian, brought her kids up in Manchester, my mum up in Dundee, both grafters all their day, like cleaning, low-paid jobs, because they didn't think there was an alternative, you know. And it's always been an ambition of yours to bring your mum up, so we managed to do that, and she's in a real cracking house, 10 minutes away from us. Likewise, my
And that
mum,
was your first property deal, wasn't it?
that was the first one.
Since
Even before,
Prodigy, yeah.
that was just what we learned off your online courses, very short snapshot, and reading your books. And like I do, get absolutely obsessed with things. So like the audio books, you know, your books, right? How do we do this? Let's just throw ourselves into it. And then,
We'd actually completed that deal before we came to Protégé, so it was in between Jumpstart and
yeah,
Do you know what I love about that there? Is that, of course, like, I'm going to be saying Protégé, if you want the education, the support and everything else, of course, go and do it. But just read the book.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, just do some of my online stuff, watch some of my stuff on YouTube and apply it.
Yeah.
You know, but the problem is with a book, what did it cost?
It was less than, I remember it was less than 20 quid for all 3 books.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
But-
People will just write that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where's the value in that? So it's only cost me 10 quid, 20 quid. But I mean, there's so much in there, and that's testament to you
Yeah.
guys taking it on board and applying it already.
But then we've done other training before, obviously through the police and whatever. There's all sorts of training programs we've been involved in, and nothing has developed us personally like this has. It's just a completely different experience, and the personal development, the mindset, that is everything.
There's
It's everything.
applying it, and I've always said it doesn't matter what you do in life, what you study, how many degrees or qualifications you've got. If you're not going to take action and apply it, it's an absolute waste of time. And that's what all these audio books and the experts and the inspirational folk that have achieved a lot of the high performance have said. You know, if you're going to stay in your bed till lunchtime every day at the weekend, feeling sorry for yourself, dossing around and expecting folk to give you stuff and be the victim all the time, you're not going to get anywhere in life. You know, and that's where
You can
us
tell the
tradition-
chat our kids have had, can't you?
But you know what? You guys are the perfect example for your kids. You just mentioned about your own parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the same myself and my mum, like very similar story. And for me, I'm the one that's having to shift that and change that from doing the old way of doing things or how society believes that you should operate and do.
Yeah.
So you guys are setting the example for your kids, whether they get involved in property or not. It's good that the two oldest ones are taking an interest, but whether they do or not, just by watching and seeing the example that you guys set, it's going to shift the generations and what they do with their kids and so forth. You must be proud of that.
It sounds
Yeah.
cheesy, isn't it? That is so rewarding, like to help, particularly the mums, because that is your why, isn't it? I mean, they've worked hard to bring us up with little or no money and stuff, and then, like, obviously we're kids and ourselves. But when we look back, there's no doubt that some others would have probably made more money than we have with some of the projects. But it's not about being greedy; it's about being win-win situations when you're dealing with people.
It's all
and business.
learning, isn't it?
Yeah, you're constantly learning everything we're doing.
But I think for the kids, is the main thing for us is to let them know that they've got choices and they're not in a situation that they're stuck in. You know, they don't need to wait till they're our age or older to change something. If they've got a desire or a dream, or just do it. Go, just push yourself, get out there and do it.
Love it. And because you guys are, do you know that way that some parents, look, we've all been guilty of it. You know, we turn around and say, you can do it. And, well, why aren't you doing it, Papa? You know, it's, oh, yeah, fair point. So, you know, when we were getting the ice bar, it was so funny because I know you guys do the ice bar, don't you, from time to time?
Yeah.
I remember one time and I was talking to Ari and I says, do you know if you get in the cold in the mornings, you're going to get stronger? And she turns around, well, get in then. That's like, okay, perfect example, you know, so I need to lead by example.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys are doing that, you know, you set the example for the kids because they're watching.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know more about, so you came to Protégé, and then how did things start to go there? What did you start getting involved in? What did you start doing? Let's talk about some of those deals.
So it's probably the flat in Broughty Ferry next, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we'd already finished Mum's house. We'd already moved her up and realised probably few things that we'd done wrong or we could have done better.
Like moving her up.
Yeah.
No, hope you shouldn't listen to this.
But then it was a flat, wasn't it? We came across
Yeah.
a flat in Broughty Ferry near to where we stay. And it was on market, but it was on at 85 initially. And then there was a price change and it dropped to 80. And we just got in there and got a viewing and actually met an estate agent who we're still in contact with now, and he's at a lot of network events that we go to. It's proved to be a good relationship, hasn't it?
But it was funny because that is the first time that you obviously teach about pulling money out, and we just couldn't get our head around it. But in a nutshell, that one, real nice area, Broughty Fair, right next to the waterfront, 80,000, needed everything done. But as soon as we went in, both of us could visualise what it could look like. And we said, yeah, okay, we'll buy it 80,000. Is it cash? Yeah, cash buyer, because a pallet hours was exactly what he was looking for. The criteria was set, being an investor. Long story cut short, which it is. By the Friday at 4 o'clock, the solicitors gave us an ultimatum. Right, is it in your friend's name? And even had his date of birth. Again, learning, never had all the details. He was away on business. Is it you and Emma's personal name, or is it your new company you created 2 weeks ago called Be Lifted? I thought, shit.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
We literally stood in the living room of the flat going, oh, what did we do?
And we got told you've got till 4:30 on the Friday. To basically, this is at 2 o'clock, I think, the Friday. You've got till 4:30. This is going back on the market. And I thought, oh dear. And we looked at our bank account and we literally had a few hundred quid. And we thought, and my sister had mentioned before about, oh, I'd like to do business, but I've only got 20 grand. So on the phone to her, like, Michelle, you want to go on a joint venture? Here's what we're planning to do. But instead of just getting a return, because your family, it's our first one, we'll give you 25% value of this property. And that's including when it grows, obviously, for the next 5 years, because that was her game plan. Her son was 18.
She really got us started, you know.
Yeah.
So I sort of thank, I suppose, for the first investment.
Yeah.
And then literally, I was interest-free credit cards that we done a refurb of 16 grand.
We're not telling people to go and do that.
That's just,
but we were comfortable doing that because we could see where it was going to go. You know?
It's not like you're taking credit card debt and then buying a car or going on a holiday or buying clothes. You're putting it into something that you knew that was going to pay you back. It was interest free, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by putting it into, you got resourceful, you know, and you did what you guys had to do. And you know, I'm the same. I don't recommend people go and do it, but if you know that it's going to be a way to give you a greater return and put it into property, then
it's not that you want the stress, but you kind of we kind of work a little bit better under stress. It's almost things are a bit too easy. You get a bit complacent, don't you? And I suppose it goes back to when we were both going through our divorces and starting again. Like that situation pushes you to get resourceful. It pushes you to, well, I need to make it work. I've got to look after the kids. I've got to feed the kids. I need to put a roof over their head. It's that kind of scenario, isn't it? So when the solicitor's saying, well, you know, where are you going with this? What are you doing? Feeling like a couple of absolute amateurs. But I think we were... I think it was David Smart, wasn't it? We were messaging.
Honestly, David Smart, Jacqueline Robertson, the folk that we looked up to and still look up to. I mean, how
even
busy
that, he
they
came
were.
back and he said to Mark, gonna stop sending like hundreds of texts. We just voice note me, and we were like, "Oh my god, we're so ancient."
Down with the kids because I was just. But no, even when you, and that, again, that's probably why we make time for anybody, not just in the tribe, but
Because
other people. Because if it wasn't for people like that, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, you know. And you always appreciate and never forget the folk that have been there for you.
Yeah.
And it was simple things like David Smart phoned him and says, "What do we do here? Oh, you can nominate like your friend next week or this and that." So. Again, we ended up buying it with my sister's investment in our own names, which again, with hindsight, we probably would have done it through the company because the amount of stuff we're doing now, loads of learning.
But we didn't see at that point where it was going. No. You know, we'd only started on the journey.
Yeah, I guess that's a question to ask, is that, you know, when you came to Protégé, what was your ideas? Was it to buy a house or two or do one? Because you've done so much, and we're going to get into that in a few short years, but what was the expectations at the beginning?
To be honest, the tension was that I was retiring in 5 years. So I'd done 26 years there last November. So when I had 30 years service, I was going to get this big pension and I was going to take off and do a few wee buy-to-lets, the odd wee refurb myself on the tools, so we thought, and do that. And that was the plan. Because remember, on Protégé, I think you'd said, right, do you want to, or tell I, before Protégé, do you want to sign up for Protégé? No, I'll sign up. I don't have the money. I'll sign up in 5 years and retire from the police. And it always stuck in my head. It basically says, that's fine. It's just the other folk that start today will be 5 years ahead of you. And I thought, shit, he's right enough. No, it was clearly a hook and it worked. But
it's true, because it's only 2 years.
Yeah.
And look where we are.
Yeah.
You're not even taking that retired pension?
18 months later, I retired with 50 grand less than the pension pot that I would have got, my lump sum. But then you get your head around money and finance, and you thought, right, for 4 years I would be paying literally 36 grand into it. I think it worked out. I thought, so you were working, albeit you're getting a wage, but you're working, you were restricted for an extra 14 grand over 4 years. So I've got a goal that within that 5, which would have been the 5 years, here's what we want to be achieving type thing. And just totally
and
driven.
that's when you realise how restricted you are by a job, or, you know.
Not just a police, but any job. It's simple things like, right, I want to go on a trip to here or there for business, whether it's this country or not. And obviously if you've got the funds in, you could just go. You didn't have to ask for time off. But we're definitely not lazy. If anything, we're definitely doing more hours than we used to do. But it's not like work. We're passionate. We love it. You know, I literally get up 7 days a week early, and I'm on the laptop. I'm doing stuff. And I just start, and then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night. We'd hardly even watch TV.
Yeah.
You know,
couldn't tell you what's on TV at the moment. Right?
No, but again, it's great fun. You know?
So what I love about that is your first deal was relatively quickly out of Protege and getting the support with the tribe and everything else, and then getting your who was it? Your sister-in-law, was it?
My sister.
Your sister. Sorry.
That. So even the learning from that. So the learning was my builder pal had other commitments and other personal stuff. We done it ourselves. I was rewiring it, knocking down walls. I put my back out, couldn't move. You were knocking down walls with my son Aidan. You know,
there's a theme here, laying slabs, knocking down walls.
And then I got to the stage that neighbours were getting really upset. It was a top floor flat. Because you're working full time, we were finishing at 3, getting in at our scruffs, eating junk food, working till 10 o'clock at night, hammering, drilling. Weekends, you could see, at the end, I had to buy them chocolates and things and work them round a bit. But that was 6 months. And at the end of it, we refinanced it. And then we got told you it's now worth 120 grand. So we literally got, they say pulling out money, but just to explain to folk, we got 30 grand dropped in our bank account because the mortgage went from 60 to 90. Yeah, you're paying extra mortgage per month. But I said, this works. You know, so we could have paid off my sister there and then, but she doesn't know what to keep it going. So we could have paid off the 36 grand acquisition costs. We could have just had 6 grand left in that deal. The tenant's paying 600 quid a month. You mind this sort of taxes and that, but literally within less than a year, it's like you've got a flat in Broughty Ferry. It's a cracking location. It's only going to grow in value and rental income eventually. So that's what we thought, this stuff does work, and let's go and jump into the next project.
So the whole proof of concept of buying a property, adding value, refinancing, pulling money out, using investor finance, even though it was your sister, to get involved in a property deal that prior to that you never had the funds set aside to do it yourself.
Never had the funds and knowledge. We didn't even know how to start a business, so obviously through yourselves and Richard Swan in particular, how to set up a business in a box, as he calls it. You know, the documents, the stuff, the compliance. You know, looking back now, there was loads of little things to do, but we just got on and done it. And so we've got like 3 or 4 businesses now, and we're about to do others as well soon. So it's great.
So exciting. So take us into some of the more juicier projects you've been working over in the last year, because you've got some. A couple of essays, haven't you? You're getting a new build development you're working on as well, in that, and the new venture which we can get to. But talk us through some of the other deals that you've been working on, or other things that you think would be good to share.
Yeah, the schoolhouse. That was our first service accommodation. So that came about. Somebody approached us at work, and her mum had been living there. Due to different personal circumstances, it was needing massive repairs done, full refurb. She'd run out of money, time, all the usual sort of problems, and she wanted to downsize. We agreed a price with her. We bought it from her. Again, it was going to be for an investor initially, and that all kind of went pear-shaped at the last minute. And again, panic stations. What do we do? Oh my God!
3 weeks before the deadline. This time, this lady had already bought another house on the money she was getting from us, and we thought, again, we probably were better under pressure, but our back was against the wall.
But you're personally responsible for that person's situation. We'd got involved. It wasn't just a transaction. She had found somewhere that she was going to move to. That was going to be her home for the rest of her days. I knew her daughter. Well, we both knew her daughter. It was a personal thing, and if we'd let her down at the last minute, like that's everything, isn't it? It's not just your business. It's not just the property and not getting that. So yeah.
Even her solicitor. I'll no name him, but he basically says, don't know what we're used to.
He'd never met us before.
Never met us personally, and he says, don't get involved with them, don't know what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. Again, that just gives you the drive to say fuck you, but no, let's make this work. But I spoke to Express Mortgages, and we thought, right, we didn't have this money, how do we get it? Right, what assets have you got? By that time, we've got the flat, your mum's house, our own house. Let's take the equity across them, or cross collateral, which we never even knew you could do. And then I said to him, this is mad. We literally had no money in our pocket, really, and we get to buy a house and there's some money to pay for the refurb as well on top of that. And this is a house that folks say to us, you guys are off your head, you're buying a house right next to a school. It's needed loads of work done to it. It's not the bonniest looking houses, but you could visualise what it was going to look like. And we've got a really good architect that we work with as well, boy Darryl Barr. So he came in, says you could do that, bifold doors. And yeah, that was a cracking project. Our build team that we then built up by that time, 11 weeks, and it was blitzed. That was everything, new roof, the works.
But also, we got investment from somebody in the tribe, and because it ended up, we could have done a mediocre refurb, but the roof needed replaced, and there was extra cost creeping in, so we decided to look for investment and do it properly. So the investor that came in said, "Have you not thought about service accommodation?" And genuinely, it had not even crossed our mind. We were just going to do a flip. And we started to look into that, and the area it's in, it's like 2 miles from Dundee city centre. It's just a couple of miles from Broughty Ferry. It's down near the docks. So, for contractors, for holiday makers, for golfers, you name it, it kind of fitted the bill for all that. And it was like a light bulb moment, wasn't it? And just thought, why have we not even considered this? So that's what we did with it in the end. We refurbed it and then we furnished it. And we were up and running before the legislation changed. So we've been able to trade, and now we're going through the licence process at the moment with that one.
It's the things that are out with your control. So remember, we're sitting with the architects in Glasgow on the Friday night for other projects we're discussing by that time, and you get a phone call from one of the bosses to say, because the Queen's died this Sunday, the hearse is travelling through your area, you have to find your uniform, basically be up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday and get yourself up to Aberdeenshire type thing. So you remember, you're on a 12-hour shift. We had to have that finished because we were first booking for the 28th of September before the legislation had kicked in the 1st of October. So we had to have that finished. There was still painting to do. The painter we had done a cracking job, but they could only do so much. And I've actually got a picture. Emma comes back and her uniform is literally painting the kitchen. Now, we stayed there that week until 1 o'clock in the morning. We were working away and getting up at like 5:30 for work. It was almost like, it was like a holiday. We got away for the kids for 4 nights. But no, we just basically threw ourselves right into it to get it done. And we did. And so far, that has been one of the best things we've done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Financially.
Yeah.
Well, that's great because, again, it's proof of concept. You've been resourceful. 3 weeks out, you had the JV partner that was going to go in with you pull out. So now you're like, okay, shit, right? And I guess that's one of the things that I echo a lot is you've got to be resourceful. You've got to have more options, and clearly you've got to work. Yeah. And you not only did you get in touch with Express Mortgages and help structure the deal that's going to have it fully funded, then getting another JV partner on to increase the refurb, and then starting to operate as an SA. Yeah. So talk about the anticipated net income on that, and in terms of as a buy to let, but now as an SA.
Well, you do all that side of it now. I've just taken a step back and got my feet up.
So we went with a management company, but this sort of tied in with me leaving the job as well. So it made sense that I managed it myself and hopefully build up that side of the business as well. So this obviously has been the best time of year. We've gone to, July, August. It's been pretty much fully booked the whole time, hasn't it? And before deductions and the mortgages, you're running it like a house, so you're paying all your utilities and everything else. But we were $5,000, weren't we, last month?
And we're basically $1,000 for obviously the mortgage we've got on it. We then went over to a service accommodation mortgage. So you're paying for all the utilities, obviously, and you want to have a good
I love how
package.
You're talking down your deal. I mean, like you're like $5,000, but we've got this, we've got that. You're still making good money on an SA that if it was a buy to let wouldn't even clear. Am I right? About £700-800 at most.
And if that, again, because it was at a janitor's house, folk thought we were mad, and the reviews, touch wood, been 5-star stuff, really good reviews, and again, testament to all the work you're doing with it in management.
Well, it's again changing and adapting, isn't it? So we've had the busy months, and now it's like, well, how are we going to get through the winter? We've got a couple of bookings around Christmas and the October holidays, but so it's then looking into the contractor side of the market and tapping into that, which is kind of my next ticky box thing, really. That's what I'm going to be looking at now.
Good stuff, exciting. So, any other deals that are notable that we should talk about?
So that one, at the same time as that, was our first ever package deal. Again, that's when we realised that the power of the tribe. I mean, even that, the schoolhouse, to go and put a post to say, we could do a $50,000 to finish it to the high spec we want to do now. Literally within 10 minutes, we had 3 offers of $50,000, and I thought, who's got that money? Again, when you've had our upbringing and background where you've always been skint, or your parents have always been skint, and
Kind of
whatever.
laughed a bit when we were putting the post
thought,
together,
what?
because I was like, no one's going to take us seriously. Like, who's going to just go, yeah, 50 grand, there you go. You know, so
And then we've done a package deal with a 2-bed flat again for somebody else, the tribe, and that was just a quick 1,500. We just took, again, just because we thought the first one we were that excited. I mean, that was the first income as such, dropped in our business account by that time. I thought, oh my God, you know, this is just, again, because it's not your world as such, you know, you're not used to folk with big wealth and finances, and indeed giving you a leg up, because that's how we've seen it. You know, we're still really good friends with other investors. And
it's hard to value your own time and input, I think. You know, when you find a deal for somebody, you just see that, don't you? You just see the deal that you're presenting on paper or on an email or whatever, not all the hours of due diligence and everything else that's gone on in the background. So we were almost a little bit naive, I suppose, isn't it? I'm just like, we can't
done a few
charge too
package
much money.
deals that they've become easier, and obviously you get quicker at doing the presentation packs. But yeah, the biggest project so far is my builder pal, which is this is what we're looking to do. You could almost like work with us almost full time, because he's got really good standards. He's an absolute grafter as well. So we've now had effectively 3 joiners full time work with us the last few months. But it was his idea that he says, let us stay around the corner from this mill project in Dundee. He says, it looks a cracking building. It's been empty for 7 years. Do you want to have a look at it? He says, but I don't have any money. So we looked at the sort of.
We actually
pack
brought him
says
on
no.
Jumpstart as well, just to, because you explain to people there is a way of doing it. You know, we
Yeah.
could do this, we could do that, and he's like, just.
He came to Aberdeen
So,
one,
yeah,
but
we
his
brought
other
him-
commitments, he's
yeah.
never gotten Prodigy yet. But yeah, he actually booked the viewing for us at 3:30 on a Friday after work. We were the last viewers of a whole week of viewings, because we weren't really interested, to be honest, on paper. We just thought it looks okay, and we saw it. We thought, we need to get this. So it was offers over 300, valued at 320, 325. So I've done a business case, which I now do again, a business case template I got off of somebody in the tribe, to say this is what the sort of funders would look for. So it's every strategy you're thinking of. Here's the figures, and it's not making up the figures. You're checking like what the Airbnb rates would be, buy-to-lets, whatever. We've done that over the weekend. Spoke to Paul Rowson, one of the directors at Express. He says, you'll get that sort of for 300 value. Put an offer of 300. I was on the phone to Paul and I get an email. The estate agent says, no, it's been declined. They're going to go to closing date. There's loads of interest. And I don't know why. I just thought, let's just take a ballsy push and just say, okay, 310, final offer, unconditional, no survey. And he says, you sure it's like nearly a 600-year-old building? So, fuck it, no, that looks good. So, you get a feel for it, I think, when you go in here. We just thought, this is a cracking building. Look what we could do with this. And then, within literally 10 minutes, he says, it's yours. And again, it's a bit of a roller coaster. I meant to get the keys January. I had the trades teed up for the January. We didn't get the keys to the end of March. We're through here, actually, the last time we got the keys. So
that's a joint venture with the builder and his wife. And, you know, we've, again, sort of joint venture agreement, but we're really keen on keeping things even and making sure that we've taken the same risk as them. And
it's showing loyalty again to people who's been there for you, albeit he's getting paid obviously his rate. But I've known him for years, trust him, really good at his job. You know, we've got that connection that the 4 of us got on really well, but we've still got like a 25-page joint venture shareholders agreement done. Then created a new company, so we've got separate accounts, so all the money goes through that. So it's all.
If only we'd sold tickets for people to come and see it, we'd actually probably would have paid for it twice by now.
Without exaggeration, there has been at least 100 visitors, mostly in our tribe group, but folk out with and the property, our few friends. And again, it's funny because we just got on with it and didn't think that it's obviously inspiring other folk to say, like, you can do bigger things, you can do this, you know. And we've met some brilliant people.
If you can inspire so many people with a live project that you're working on, you know, and you're saying that if you charge tickets for it, but I tell you what's going to come off the back of that is many people, they'll be keeping in touch going, when's your next project and can I get involved?
Even the social media side of it, you know, people are probably sick of seeing the mill now, but it's been great for us because the post, every time someone visits, you know, there's photos going on, you know, people are saying it's great to see the project.
And folk are, seem to be genuinely keen on how it's progressing. You know, we bump into folk in the street and they say, how's that going? What was that room like? You know, I like what you did there. And we've all 4 of us are involved. I've got similar type visions. Albeit Emma's taste is a bit dodgy sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's a great project, you know.
And what's the exit for this one?
So the game plan for that is 2 service accommodations. That's plan A.
So it's a 7-bedroom building, and it was all one initially. So we're splitting the title deeds and making a 3-bed and a 4-bed house, so that we're going to go down the SA route and we're going to apply for the licensing and stuff. But if that doesn't work, then we can sell one, we can sell two, we could rent one. It gives us the flexibility then, doesn't it?
Even that. So far, we're reckoning by the end of it, because I've got the schedule works, obviously the tracking the finances and all in. By the time I pay investors and that back, that's going to be just over £500,000 that I've spent. And then we've already been told valuation is a minimum of 300 and 350. So there's 650. Now, if somebody again says that to us 2 years ago, that'd be one of the deals you'd be doing. You would think, this is madness, But it's great fun, and it is hard work. I mean, a few Sundays ago, because the electrician was busy, I basically changed over sort of cables, mains cables, and I was in from 7 in the morning. I went in there on my own till 8 o'clock at night. But the time just flew, and I was happy as a pig amongst shit, So yeah, folk don't say it. Folk think, oh, look at them, think they're great with this house or whatever. You're always going to get negativity or folk that don't get it, but they don't see behind the scenes the money you've spent on courses, the time you've invested, getting up at 5, say almost 7 days a week, doing crazy hours behind the scenes, even doing the manual labour and literally crawling under floorboards and stuff. No, but we're willing to do that, and we enjoy it, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's a deal there. It's got 6 figures in it. If you end up having to flip it on, refinance it as an SA when you get the license there. And the best part is of course, you could end up getting the commercial valuation much higher. What's the net income in there? If the other one you've got, the school is getting,
We've looked at the figures, and even at 60%, that we should be able to feed the kids, put it that way.
So no more beans and toast.
No, that's it.
This is what I love about. I'm a big fan of buy-to-let properties, right? You've got some yourself, and it's all good. But see, when you start to look at the SA strategy, it's just one or two could help someone become financially free, replace the average UK salary. So when you talk about putting that time and effort and work behind the scenes that people are not seeing. That's why you guys are getting the rewards. And it's not like you're going to do that forever. You do it for a short time to set yourself up for the rest of your life.
And it's funny because, again, it's a mindset. Like before, some folk that says, oh, you're making out on a house and whatever, that's ridiculous. Well, you're actually bringing folk into the area. You're contributing to the economy, albeit just at a low level on that project. But if you keep doing that, folk don't see the bigger picture. It's obviously good to make money.
We pride ourselves in providing good quality accommodation as well. I mean, we've looked at other service accommodations, and not to badmouth any, but there's really substandard ones out there, and we want to stand out. We want to be a little bit different. We want to
fully compliant with the licensing and the proper insurances.
Yeah, doing it right.
There's a lot of money invested, at the start, and we are taking that risk as well.
Yeah.
But again, and I suppose that's what we've learned as well, is not keep all your eggs in one basket. So we've got with your mum's house that it's not any income, but it's longer term strategy, longer term investment. We've got the flat. We've got the schoolhouse, an SA, buy-to-let, other essays, other projects. We're doing sourcing for other people on that as well. So a wee bit of everything rather than just keep your eggs in one basket, I think is the secret, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got a diverse property business, which is doing well, which is great. And then you had a recent trip, didn't you?
Yeah, the
one of us did.
Well, one of us did, yeah.
The short story is literally within a week of retiring, I went up to a pal's house who'd built with these bricks that were recycled bricks, like woodcrete, as it's called in the building trade. So it's effectively recycled wood mixed with sort of chemicals that are no dangerous to the environment, along with concrete. And then we realised that there's a couple of companies, but one in particular that I'm now working with. They're based in Italy, been on the go for years. By far the world's leaders at what they do, because the quality is perfectly square bricks, which isn't easy to achieve just with the process. They've got a real good reputation. They exceed all the European standards for even things like ballistics testing. They showed me the video when I was there the other day. They've actually built a police academy in Bosnia. And there's obviously seismic stuff for earthquakes in Europe, which obviously isn't such a huge issue here. But just the UV values and everything. And when you actually look at the independent consultants, say it's 2/3 of the build cost of a normal house. Now, since literally the start of the year, again, couldn't believe the folk that I've met or been in contact with, but Scottish Enterprise, one of the top dog, you could call them that, I suppose. I've had numerous meetings with, really, really supportive. Last time we were here again, he just picked up the phone and said, could you come through and see me, literally with half an hour's notice.
He's even trying to learn Italian. I think we've
trying to learn Italian. Buongiorno. So yeah, again, getting a bit obsessed with things. I thought, right, the more I'm working with these guys in Italy, I had lots of Teams calls together. I need to learn the language. the owner doesn't speak any English at all. His son, who's like the European operations manager, does. But I thought, again, it's rude not to try and learn their language, learn culture as well. So I'm doing all the other projects we're doing. Any spare minute I've got, it's an audiobook. So if I'm not listening to like Tony Robbins at TR Vega or whatever, it'll be learn Italian. So yeah, when I first met the owner and his son several weeks ago in person, introduced myself Italian, try and chat and stuff, and again it broke the ice a bit. Again, loads to go with that. I'm not saying I'm any good at it, but yeah, Monday past there, got up at 2:00 in the morning. It was an absolute trek to get there because it's so remote, and trying to work in the flight times at all our commitments, because I had again the support of the Scottish Government, the guy based in the British Embassy in Rome. He's the Scottish Development International Manager. He basically come in and he says, right, we'll meet you there because this is what we want to do. We want to start importing them into here and building with them because it addresses the skill shortage. You could train somebody in 2 days to build with these blocks. Addresses the costing, obviously, for affordable housing. Because if you've got a massive project and you could effectively cut it by a third, that's huge, obviously, for people. So they're now coming across with their build teams. We were just setting up training days. So we're going to start off probably next month. We're going to do presentations to architects and stuff. I've also met with the head of the apprenticeships in Scotland a few months ago. They were blown away by it, and given the fact that they've been building in other countries for years and years with this product, and it's mortgageable as well, they couldn't believe that we're not building more houses in Scotland. There's an odd self-builder been doing it, but we want to do it obviously large scale. So they basically says when this starts coming in, we'll train, that'll be on the curriculum for all the apprenticeships in Scotland. So you think this is madness, and we could probably build a lot of affordable housing obviously in the country. I mean, the Scottish Government have got a pledge to build 110,000 affordable homes in the next so many years. Not say we'll build all of them, but why no? Because if we could then build them at 2/3 of the cost, so that's the sort of stuff we're doing. So the process now, next month I'm starting to do presentations to local planners, architects and stuff. We've got a few things planned and lined up, obviously websites and stuff all getting sorted. Thereafter we're going to train up build teams, so the Italians are coming over, so I'll be fluent by that time. Maybe not. They'll be coming over, training our build teams how to do it. And it's almost like the intention is to go right through the whole of Scotland initially, just showing folk how to do it. Again, it might not be for everybody because some folk are just set in their ways and think this is a better build. It's entirely up to them. But certainly the new builds that we've got, sort of we're looking to progress anyway. We're going to be using these blocks.
Yeah.
We've got even Makita UK who want to come up and see one of the builds with it, with their marketing team and all their power tools. We're also working with the National Merchant Buyer Society. I think something like a £4 billion turnover. They're keen. Even the shipping company we work with, we've got a really good deal with them. They're keen because a lot of companies, or all the companies now, have to try and tick that sustainability box. So although they're using shipping containers and companies, they're saying, well, it's a green product we're moving, it's all recyclable. We're even going to do things like for every house we build, we'll build at least a tree or two. That'll be part of the pledge we do. So although it's Italian wood initially, it's getting recycled, we'll plant trees over here. It's just the whole economy and stuff and keep it going. So really excited for that. I mean, it was literally
a lot of hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, and even just landing there yesterday or Monday, so I don't know what day it is now, but I get there, so it's literally in the middle of nowhere, and the owner himself picks us up in his Lamborghini, and I'm thinking, here's a boy from Kirton Housing Scheme in Dundee, brought up with no very much, and I'm sitting with multi-millionaires who are absolutely driven, and that's what you realise when you mix or deal with people like that, or like yourself. You used to think that folk are millionaires or that they've been greedy or ripped folk off, whatever, and what you learn, they're just absolutely driven to constantly achieve more and more and more. And it's not about being greedy, it's just about getting better and doing better for yourself, your family and your wives. It is a case, okay, like I'm a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire and things like that. And it's not just a money thing, but it's a knock-on effect what these people do for other people around about them. Even just the workforce, I mean, the guy's got 50 folk. All his factory is also systemised and robotics inside. He wouldn't let us film inside, but I was absolutely blown away because the videos didn't do it justice, what they've got and the technology they've got and how they're using it. And the tolerance levels, it was literally 10 bricks, it was like a couple of millimetres was their tolerance levels. And I liken it to the Italian cars. It's almost like they've got real high standards and great attitudes. They literally treat me like royalty, me and the guy from the embassy.
Yeah.
You said about the family values as well.
Family values,
It all
yeah,
sort
and
of ties back in.
and even just other deals that they were sort of meant to be involved in but weren't, type thing, and folk never got the bricks, and they've honoured things like that. And I thought that's the sort of people you want to work with. The integrity, the family values, and just treating their workforce really well over there as well. I mean, everybody I spoke with over there, most of them spoke pretty good Italian, and a lot of them, the engineer that I spoke with about a big project we've got in Dundee as well, he's looking at the drawings and calculating even the floors that they can make. He's been here 28 years, and he says he never wants to retire. He absolutely loves it, and you could see the energy in the whole place. And I thought, it was absolutely buzzing, and then I literally lost count how many pieces of transport I was on to get there and back. But I thought I would do it again tomorrow, and I will. I'll be going back and forward a fair bit. But no, it's really exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm loving it. I can tell, because you're just like, well, it could do this, could do that. We've got this support, and plus I do love my Italian cars as well. But Italy's a beautiful place, and it's great that you've got partners over there. You're going to be spending more time there. It's exciting to see what you could do with all of that. I mean, I'm personally excited as a developer myself, and learning more about the product and what it can do, because you're solving more than just two huge problems, but one is efficiency and speed of getting the shortage that we've got just now. So as we bring this to a close, because we could talk forever, you guys, it's just amazing what you're working on, what you're doing, and and I'm certain that those that are watching will be inspired by your own journey and everything that you're doing. But first and foremost, what's the vision going forward? I know it's going to be a big focus on that, but what's the vision going forward, and more importantly, how can people reach out and connect with you?
I think we haven't set ourselves any limits. When we started off, the vision was probably quite small. So going forward, it's just keep growing, keep learning, keep growing. And we've said it a few times now, but we treat everything as an opportunity, So there isn't an end goal as such. It's just, and for us, we used to talk about retirement and how that would look for us further down the line in life, and now I don't see us retiring. I see us just moving on to the next
constant
thing.
learning, isn't it? Because everything you do, I plan, do a review of a value. I do a high performance planner book every single day, so I know by the end of next year, going to be a millionaire. It's not to be flash, no, it's to help everybody out round about us. The mums, the kids, the close friends, even folk that have been loyal to you that you're working with now, and even other folk that will come into your life. It's not about being greedy, it's just doing the right thing. And that's what folks say, isn't it? If you just focus on doing the right thing and taking action every single day, it'll work out. Don't be driven by money, because that's when folk get greedy and try and stab people and share on the back. We would just walk away from things like that. We're just no interest in working with people like that. It's just a case of...
Don't have time for it anymore.
No, let's just do it ourselves. If we don't get a good vibe or feel, just walk away from things and look at other things. Yeah. And again, it's just problem solving, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a scarcity mindset, I guess, with a lot of people's approach with that. And just two things to echo there. It's one of those things, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you truly want yourself as well. And that's definitely a value you guys hold, because you help and support many people as well. And then, the difference between these people, the entrepreneurs or the millionaires, why do they want more? It's just because it's what's inbuilt into them. It's what's inbuilt into high performance people, is to be the best version of themselves. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. Why not grow? Why not expand? And that's what I think what we're made of as in people. We're not made to be lazy and complacent and not doing things, although of course there is some. But for most people, especially those that want more from life, it's just that they have that drive to be more, do more. And a common theme is to give a lot as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you guys. It really has. So thank you for coming on and sharing your journey and your backstory, and and what you're working on just now. It's super exciting.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
that.
for all your support throughout our journey as well. It's
been a great couple of years. Just flown in.
and it's only the start. In my mind, we've got so much more to go, and I'm really looking forward to following that journey. And for all that are watching and listening into, I know you guys will be inspired by this for sure. And as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link off to their social handles and their websites and stuff, so you can connect with them, check them out, follow them. You absolutely should, because you'll get a lot from that by following their journey. And more importantly, if you get any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll go in there and respond to them. I'm sure these guys will keep an eye on there as well to pop in there too. So thanks again for watching and listening. All the best, and bye for now.